Welcome to QueerTWENTY, the cohort of 2023. QueerTWENTY is egomonk's annual flagship program where we celebrate exceptional queer. Today we have Swayambhu Soham with us. Swayambhu is a Bangalore-based professional with 15 years of IT industry experience at IBM and Kindred. Swayambhu is not just an IT expert but also a creative artist with a flair of out-of-box thinking. Beyond the office, Swayambhu is a passionate advocate for community animal welfare and CSR volunteering. Without further ado, let's welcome Swayambhu. Swayambhu, thank you so much for joining us. Swayambhu, you are an age-gendered person. Not a lot
Yeah.
of representation or focus is given to this queer identity. Could you share with me and our viewers what has your journey been like discovering this aspect of yourself? What was the process like for you?
It has been a challenging journey actually, because I also had not heard about agenderness. It is less spoken gender identity, I would say. And it took me a while to discover that, spectrum includes agenderness. And I'm glad I could discover, because that has been the biggest day of my life where I could identify my gender identity. The struggle was over.
Swayambhu, there are so many stereotypes attached to almost every alphabet in LGBTQIA, right? So trans folks have a lot of stereotypes. Same thing goes for gays, same thing goes for bi people, and so on. What are the common stereotypes that are associated with agender identity? If you could like tell me two of these.
uh, they cannot relate that there can't be any gender, because that is something which people cannot relate. So my answer is, if zero is valid, then agenderness also is valid. It's a simple example. If zero is valid, then agender also is valid, right? So, and many people tell gender is God given. First of all, I think they are not, they don't accept LGBTQ, the spectrum, and nor are they aware of it. So it would take some time. It has been challenging because I was quite shocked to discover that my own friends who have had experience and not experience, exposure, where there is inclusion at workplace, or when they have gone abroad, uh, countries with LGBTQ inclusion, uh, they were hesitant to accept me as a queer person. It was quite a shock for them, and they're not willing to accept. They're trying to tell that it is wokeism and all that. So I've kind of I'm silent on that. I think it'll take some time for them to discover. So give them some time.
So, Swayambhu, you mentioned about changing your name, and I want to pursue that theme, right? So you legally changed your name to a name that better aligns with your identity. What was the legal process for this like?
The process is it was not so bad, except the gadget work. That is a regular process where you publish an affidavit and then go ahead and change all the documents. And also, the gadget notification has to come from the central government, and then go and change over the bank and other stuff. What is disappointing was, because I belong to the other, not female and male. As per the spectrum, whoever is non-binary come under transgender. Legally, there are three genders now. So you come under the umbrella term transgender or other genders. But to my surprise, most of the portals didn't have the option of other. That includes Bharat Kosh also, where we have to make a payment to change the name and gender. So that is government, and it's been almost 10 years, 9 years since Nalsa judgment, and Transgender Act also. but these portals are not updated. And it was really disappointing to see that even government portals are not including, the other gender options. That's really, I think there's a gap between in the system which needs to be filled, because it's not a short span where third gender is identified. So these things has to be updated, and I also made it mandatory, right? So there's a
Yeah,
gap,
yeah.
still a gap. It takes it should be, I think we should fight it out, or get check on the system where we can fill that gap.
When you decided to pick a name for yourself and go with it for the rest of your life, what was the reaction of your family, your friends, like basically your loved ones?
Uh, no, my family actually is, they have brought us up in a very open-minded atmosphere, and they take us, the entire family is, we are brought up in a very individualistic manner. So, and there is enough space. They have chosen us to live our lives, and my mother also didn't mind. It's totally my wish, and nobody objects. There's absolutely no objection. Even when I came out as a agender person, I told my mother that I do not belong, I do not relate being a woman or a man, and I'm going to change my name. She was quite okay. I mean, she's 83. I don't I don't think she was, she would understand the spectrum and all. That's too much of expectation. But she was fine changing the name, and she also asked, like she. I told her that uh, I don't feel like a woman. She was fine with that. She was fine with that, and she calls me Swayambhu only now. She has accepted me. That is actually moral support, because see, mom, your parents accepting you, calling you by the name that you have chosen, it's a lot of moral support. And I personally feel, because if somebody my friends refuse to call me, I immediately tell my mother is also calls me my name. And I don't know what is the challenge my friends are facing, because number one, she's 83, and secondly, she's my mother. She didn't feel offended that I have chosen to change my name. And actually, see, parents choose your name. So I have kind of, she could misinterpret that I've gone against her and chosen my name. But she didn't do that. She accepted, she embraced the way I am, the way I have opted to change the name. She was really very supportive mother. I am thankful to and blessed to have her.
So, I mean, for our audiences, could you quickly tell, like I know the meaning because we have spoken before, but for
Swayambhu,
our audiences, could you tell the meaning of your name?
Swayambhu is self-born, self-manifested, self-existing. So that is basically a genderless and formless God's name. That is Lord Brahman, the universal conscious. Because universal conscious is, you cannot, there's no physical entity which you can feel or something. And it's called as formless and genderless. So I wanted something to represent my gender, because my dead name was feminine, very much feminine, and I didn't want to continue with that name or any change in alphabets. Also, I wanted a new name altogether which reflects my gender identity, and I found this very apt. Number one is genderless and formless. Also, it means self-manifested or self-born. So, given that I'm a transgender, legally a transgender or agender, I don't think any parents expect a transgender kid or a wish a transgender kid. With those thoughts, I think I'm self-born.
That's a very nice story, and I love your name. It has got a like really nice ring to it.
Yeah, so
Um,
I also feel that I don't think any parents wish for a transgender kid. they wish for a boy or a girl, and usually the accessories, clothing, everything revolves around pink and blue. I have not come across anyone buying rainbow colors and wishing for a transgender child. So,
Yeah.
self-born, I feel, because whatever it is, I felt that way because anyway, I'm genderless. So that was matching to the T.
Describe your coming out experience in one word.
Eureka.
What queer stereotype annoys you the most?
God-given gender.
What is one thing that you would like to see change for queer community within your lifetime?
Marriage equality.
So you have to pick one of the options,
Okay.
drag show or a
Okay.
queer poetry slam.
The second one? Yeah.
The first thing that appears in your head when I say these words. Okay.
Okay.
And inclusion.
Banners, posters. Yeah. Sorry. Pride Month.
Allyship.
Allyship is a hug.
Transphobia.
Transphobia, to be very frank, I think, can I tell? Transphobia, Vivek Ramaswamy, Rishi Sunak, all those transphobics. Huh?
India.
India is a diverse culture. Uh, Diversity is our strength, unity in diversity is our biggest strength. And
Queer stories.
Trinetra.
Thank you so much, Swayambhu, for taking time out for this interview. Could you tell us something that helped you realize or come to this conclusion, to come to this discovery? How did you figure it out?
So
That's true.
it has been quite interesting. Actually, even I was so delighted to know that agenderness exists, because when I was questioning, I used to question, but I would not feel like a lesbian because it takes some time to identify yourself. The minute once you start questioning there's something different about me, I would think, oh, am I lesbian? But no, I do not have the attraction. So it took me a while, to question, okay, do I feel like this? Then you will get a voice from inside. No, no, I don't. So I didn't know where exactly I fit in the spectrum. So I was never in the closet. To discover the gender identity itself took quite some time. It was, trust me, it was the happiest moment, the biggest achievement in my life was discovering my gender identity, because I was kind of tired of playing a woman, and I wanted to know where I belong. It was so difficult to discover where I belong, because I don't even feel like a man where I can tell, no, I am I feel like a man and I want to go through a surgery, whatever, because I don't even feel like a man. So I didn't know where I fit in actually. So it was a great discovery. I mean, I think only a LGBT person can relate to a fellow LGBT person when what is the moment? What does it mean when you actually discover that where you belong?